Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Puma Gato, the cat that hands your fugazi back. And to my left, there is the main sustainer, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Deadly ideas, but spicier content than your girl's OnlyFans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and with that, let's get right into it. Let me tell you something about all these dorks. All these dorks that you guys saw in the thumbnails who we're here to talk about today. Very recently, Cooley from the No Fugazi podcast got exposed for basically being a fraud. Basically being fugazi. What happened? Obviously, the man always preaches about how single women who are mothers, single mothers, should be for fun times only, and you should never take them seriously. He got exposed because he found a woman who was a single mother, who he started to date. He's raising them kids as if they were their own, and now he came out with the millions of excuses on why. He's like, I never said I was a top tier male. I have custody of my own kid. Like, he basically gave all the reasons why, even though he was basically lying for years, he wasn't lying. That's what basically he was trying to say. And listen, here's the problem that I have with these dudes. I don't care if you want to preach your philosophy. That's perfectly fine, but at least live it. There's a number of different individuals. I'll give one on the women's side. Derek Jackson. I'm sure we all know about this dork named Derek Jackson, who was always constantly shitting on men at every avenue and telling women, you are goddesses, you are right, no matter what you do, your shit don't stink, it smells like roses, ladies. And this man was out here really telling women that they could basically do no wrong, and if a man didn't do absolutely every single thing on the list, it wasn't worth their time and to move on. You should never accept a man cheating, you should treat women like goddesses, and blah, 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 blah. And guess what? The man was cheating on his girl with multiple women. He lied multiple times about it. He basically made the entirety of his career that, oh, men bad, women good. Just like Cooley, essentially, women bad, men good. Just like the Fresh and Fits of the world, the Donovan Sharps of the world. What was that guy named? Yada? The very newest version of Derek Jackson, that if a man doesn't give you 50 grand, you shouldn't even date him, ladies. These are all the dorks, and you know why these guys are fucking dorks? They're dorks because they know they're frauds. They are frauds to the definition of it. They will sell you a pipe dream and say, listen, you don't have to do anything. The other side has to give you absolutely everything, and if they don't, why waste your time? Listen, I personally, on a daily basis, negotiate civil lawsuits, and we have to accept that it's not going to be a perfect case on our end. It's not going to be a perfect case on the defense's end. There's a lot of gray area to these things, and that's where I like to live my life, in the gray areas. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certain things in this world that are definitely black and white. But with that being said, the things that these guys are talking about, there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of gray area. And listen, if you guys go way back to the original videos that we did, you'll see one of the videos that I posted, why it's hard to date a single mother. I didn't say you shouldn't. I say why it's difficult for men to date single mothers. And I gave what I believe to be a lot of valid points. If Cooley were to come on and say, you know what, if you date a single mom, you just have to be aware that you essentially have no rights to that child. And if you get close to them, you could suffer two heartbreaks. One because you lost your woman, and one because you lost a potential child. That is a fair argument to make. And if you go back a couple years, that's the argument that I made. If Derek Jackson were to say, ladies, do not accept a man that cheats, do not accept a man that doesn't treat you well, that doesn't abuse you physically, mentally, emotionally, I wouldn't have a problem with Derek Jackson. But the way that these dudes each pander to each one of their sides, and they get away with it because the simps of both men and women are on there constantly saying, you know what, he's right, I deserve absolutely everything without having to give anything. That's the problem with these dorks. They sell you a pipe dream, and they're not even living the dream. They're selling you a fake lifestyle that they can't even live. And listen, I'll be honest with you. I have no problem if Derek Jackson's wife condones him cheating. If that's their lifestyle, that's perfectly fine. But don't be selling ladies on some BS. And I have no problem if Cooley's wife is okay with him being a fraud by saying, don't date single mothers for fun times only, when in reality she knows, hey, he comes home to this person that was a single mother and he loves it. I have no problem with that. Do you, big dog. But do not sell a lie and then try to live the opposite of that lie. You are really two sides of the same coin. The Derek Jacksons, the Yadas, the Fresh and Fits, the Coolies, the so on and so forth are all living this insane life that they can't even live up to. Donovan Sharp for the longest time was saying, don't date single mothers, don't date women over a certain age, don't date them. And he dated the exact type of woman that he said you guys shouldn't date. And then he went on, when he got caught, he went on and was like, these are all the reasons why this is the exception. See, that's what they want to sell you. They're saying they want to sell you, you shouldn't live this way, but this is why I get to live this way. I'm tired of all the dorks living these or pretending to live this fake lifestyle. And listen, I'll give you guys something that maybe neither side will like. Both of these sides, the Fresh and Fit sides, the Derek Jackson sides, they'll have a grain of truth to their argument. They may say, hey, generally speaking, women live a little bit more on the emotional side, and men think a little bit more logically. There is a modicum of grain of truth to that. I don't disagree with it. But then when they say, nope, you completely run off emotion, that is a lot of bull, because I have met plenty of women that are more logical than emotional. I have quite a few female friends that are more logical than emotional. There's a lot of men, like the Fresh and Fits, that clearly go off of their emotion. We all know what happened with Fresh, and he was basically a couple different times. I'm in a relationship now, Barbados and Coconuts. I have this woman, and she is not for the streets. And then come to find out, she was exactly for the streets. She was, in their own words, someone that is pay for play. So listen, I don't care if you guys want to follow these people. I have no problem with it. But let's keep it a buck. They are not who they say they are. And if you want to be lied to, that is perfectly fine. DM me. If you want to be lied to, I'll lie to you. Whatever stupid thing you want to hear, I'll lie to you. Because clearly these dudes are frauds, and they're clearly fugazi. What do you think about that, my man?
Look, man, it's gotten to the point where it just seems like, for the most part, they're all con men trying to sell their own message. And I have a sneaking suspicion that when they're this hard up about, like, oh, no single moms, no escorts, no blah, blah, blah. I was like, the fact that they're, like, so hard up on it, I'm like, you're paying for box, aren't you? Like, the fact that you're, like, so hard up on it, it's projection at this point. It's so hardcore projection. And you know what? It's like if I came out all of a sudden, and again, you know me personally, so you know what I'm talking about. It's like if I came out all of a sudden and saying women should be absolutely physically fit. Men, if you want to date women, they need to be absolutely fit. They need to be, like, under a certain body mass, BMI percentage. Nobody above 180 pounds should any of you men be dating. And you see me hanging out with a torta. Like, wouldn't that seem like kind of off to you? Like, it gives off like, okay, you guys can't date tortas, but I can. I want all the tortas for myself. That's the energy that they're giving out. They want all the escorts for themselves. They want all the single moms for themselves. And look, nobody is saying you can't date single moms. But they are. They're saying that you can't date single moms, but they want themselves to be the exception. And it's weird that you want to be preaching this kind of message, where if you want to lead a successful life, a fruitful life, don't do any of these things that I'm doing. And I understand there's a message of don't repeat my mistakes, but if you're saying no respectable man should be able to, or should date a single mom or pay for box or anything like that. Okay, why are you doing it? Well, I'm the exception. That's why. And keep in mind, Cooley himself, again, the host of the No Fugazi podcast, again, try to play it off that angle like, okay, don't repeat any of my mistakes. But a little bit ago, he was, I think, on a separate podcast entirely talking about how he was what's like a top man saying like he's 6'1", he makes over like six figure salary, he's black. I don't know how that's a high value man. Thank you. The fact that he was a high value man, and he says like, I'm not a high value man, but you can do the math on it. Basically saying, okay, yeah, I have all these standards. And look, if you want to say all that, cool. But by your own definition, if you're such a high value man, then you make 100,000 your salary, the fact that you're 6'5", the fact that you're black, all these things, and you're saying high value men have a whole bunch of options, a litany of options. God, like, the dating world is basically a smorgasbord for you, and you're saying by all accounts, don't date a single mom, but you're out here dating a single mom. What kind of message are you leading by that? Two of your messages contradict each other, whether you want to believe them or not. If you're saying single women are lower on the dating pool, and whether you actually believe it or not, that's your mileage may vary on that. I'm not saying single mothers aren't top or bottom of the list. I'm saying whatever you believe in, that's what you believe in, and that's what the No Fugazi host actually believe themselves, is that women himself, or single mothers, I should say, are lower on the dating pool, and that he has a smorgasbord, but he still specifically chose what's supposed to be lower on the tier from. Like, how? Again, his two themes that he's been trying to tout on the podcast contradict themselves, even if he doesn't think so. And he says, "What's your reason for your two ideologies contradicting himself?" And all he says is, "I'm the exception." That's not an argument. That's not an argument. You're just basically saying rules for thee, but not for me. And that's cool if you want to live like that, but you're out here trying to put out philosophy that men should better themselves, men should have all these type of options, but you're like, it's almost like a nutrition saying, oh, you should be eating nothing but apples, fruits, salads, vegetables, blah, 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 blah. And come find out, they're out there eating McDonald's. Like, what kind of message are you trying to send out there that you're putting all these rules and restrictions for me, but for yourself, you're like, nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and eat garbage. Like, what's your rationale on that?
Listen, man, that's why I consider all these dudes dorks. Here's my thing. Date whoever the hell you want. I don't care if you like BBWs, go date some BBWs. If you like petite women, go date petite women. If you like in the middles, go date in the middles. I don't care. Listen, these dudes are selling. That's what went wrong somewhere in manhood with a lot of dudes these days, is that you started looking for people out there, all the other fellas out there. You guys started looking for people to guide you, and you were looking at all the dumbasses in the world. And here's the thing. Again, they all have a modicum of grain of truth when they pose an argument. Some of their arguments come from a truthful being, but the plant that sprouted from that is not a great plant. They morph it into something that's not valid based on the original argument. And that's the problem, is they try to disguise the overall argument in this grain of truth. Now listen, again, I have no problem if Cooley wants to date who was at one point a single mother. I have no problem if Derek Jackson wants to cheat on his wife if his wife's cool with it. I have no problem with that. But don't try to sell the world a fake image when you clearly can't live that way. You know, Derek Jackson, for the longest time, and I remember getting so sick, I was telling women, I guarantee you, because I called it before he got caught, I told women all the time, don't fall for it. When someone leans that far to that side, he's hiding something. It's just like the Republicans that have come out and like, oh, family values, and then you find out they're effing the pool boy, or you know, all these people that say, oh, you know, the gays are completely bad and it's an abomination. Then you find out they got like 2 or 3 boyfriends. Listen, I have no problem with whatever lifestyle you want to live. I don't care. It's none of my business. But to you influencers, the Coolies, the Derek Jacksons, the Yadas, the Fresh and Fits, you guys trying to sell this fake image of how you're not really living is BS. And listen, to tell women, again, the Fresh and the Fits, to tell women all women do is want is money and this and blah blah blah, when you're on sugar daddy websites, my man, you're proving your own argument by adding to the problem. I don't care if you're a woman that does OnlyFans. If you want to do OnlyFans because you feel like, hey, it's a great amount of money, that's perfectly fine. Just understand there's also cons to that job. Like, there's a lot of people like the Riley Reeds of the world who wanted to be stars, and that's perfectly fine too. The problem is that now she wants everything erased from the internet. It's not going to happen. Let it go. Stop being dorks. Stop living a fake lifestyle, or stop portraying a fake lifestyle, and really get with the program here. That's why I don't like these people. They just live this fake lifestyle that is never going to be truthful for anyone. It is what it is. Let's stop following these people and stop giving them clout, which is what they really want. Anything else you want to add to that, my man?
That's it out of me.
And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.